Okay, we're recording.
All right. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to our Live Younger community Monday morning chat. We are so happy you're here, and we're growing and growing by the second. We're up to 23. It's probably going to get bigger. We gather every Monday morning at 8 a.m. Pacific for our roundtable chat. And this is an opportunity for all of us who love LifeWave and these wonderful patch products to come together and share as a community, as a family. You know, one of the reasons that people join a network marketing company besides the product is for the community. And I'm sure all of you will agree that we have the most incredible, heart-centered and enthusiastic and people-loving community. I just love all of us, and I love our gatherings. So we are here this morning, as every Monday morning, to share our stories, to share our testimonials about any of the patches, and to ask questions. And it's truly a roundtable. So I welcome input from all of you if someone has a question. And because there's so many of us, and it keeps getting bigger by the moment, it's best if you raise your hand, or you might just unmute yourself. Everybody is muted right now because otherwise there's too much background noise.
Actually, I haven't muted everyone, so I'm going to mute everyone so you'll know you need to unmute yourself in a moment, Michelle.
Okay. Okay, so everyone is muted, and when you have a question or a testimonial to share, please either raise your hand. You can use the reaction button on the bottom of your screen to raise your hand, or you can just unmute yourself and ask a question or share a testimonial. Just the disclaimer that we use every time we get on a call is please remember to only refer to symptoms. We don't name disease states because our products do not treat or prevent or cure any illness or disease. So it's really important that we just stick with symptoms. And so talk about what you felt before, what patch or patches you've used, and then how you feel now. So who would like to start this morning? You can either unmute yourself and start speaking, or you can raise your hand.
Hey, Michelle, I'll start off.
Okay, Dr. Tom. Yes, go ahead.
Young guy who I met yesterday, young, 40, military guy who had a bending finger backwards plant break, right? They never diagnosed a tendon break, but 5 years later, after his finger had contracted like this, they diagnosed him finally with MRI. And he had a whole scar. They went in years later and pulled the entire tendon, which had retracted all the way down. Right, but still, he was asking me if the patches would work. I put a tan patch right on the point where the tendon was broken, and a white patch up like mid-arm on the forearm. And we were eating. And about 15 minutes later, we're just talking and stuff. I asked him if he noticed anything right away, and he did. He had felt some tingling and things. 15 minutes later, I looked down, and the patches are on the side of the plate. And I said, "Oh, wow, what happened? Did you took those off?" And he said, "Yeah, it was intense, man. It was intense." And without going into the whole story, of course, I used that as a pointer to say, wow, obviously they work. But it was not an uncomfortable thing. He was talking about heat and a new sensation, but he said it was so different, so fast that he almost couldn't handle it. And so we talked about using it slowly, and 10 minutes at a time over the course of the day. And then I put an X39 on him as well before he left. And he was just loving life. And this is a guy who talks minerals and how the body assimilates sea minerals and things like this. So he's pretty well versed in it, and he's definitely excited.
I'm assuming it's IceWave, Dr. Tom.
IceWave, yeah.
IceWave, yes. Wow. That's one of those wows.
Isn't that great?
Goodness, that's fabulous. Thank you.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, who's next?
Hi, Tom. Well, I'll go.
Anne Marie. Yeah. And then Emily, I think, is next. Okay. Go ahead, Anne Marie.
So I got a brown recluse spider bite about 6 years ago. I almost lost the bottom of my leg below my knee. But fortunately, God was with me and I didn't, and I had a good surgeon. So I've been having to do leg wraps and wound care for 5 years. It's in an ankle area where there's some calcification from old scar tissue from an old automobile accident. So it just, the blood doesn't circulate there very well, and it just has a hard time healing. So it's gone from a quarter, size of a quarter, down to about a half of a dime at this point, over 5 to 6 years. But I had an appointment last week. They were going to do a biopsy because you have to do that every couple of years, because you could get a squamous cell cancer from an unhealing long-term spider bite or anything on the skin. So I went in for the biopsy. I wasn't looking forward to it. It's painful. It's tender tissue. And I decided about a week before the biopsy, instead of just wearing my usual X39 at C7, I would surround the spider bite with X39s. So I did 3, and then I stacked it with Eon on top. And so that was every day for 7 days before this biopsy had to happen. So I went in, the vascular surgeon said, I don't know what you're doing, but that looks really good. And it's not as deep, and they always measure it. So the nurse was really excited because the measurement had gone down even more. And so they sent me to dermatology, which was really where the biopsy was supposed to happen within the next hour. I went to dermatology, same thing. They said, it really looks good. I don't know what you're doing. And of course, I dripped all over them about X39 at both offices. But so I went away with no biopsy and don't have to see them for another 3 months. And it's usually been an every month visit for 5 years. So I'm really happy with the X39. What I did is just ramped it up,
Yes, that's a great share, Anne Marie, because sometimes we have to use even more than one X39. And there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. Did you use it for 12 hours each day when you were doing the
I did.
Mm-hmm.
I did. Start at 8 in the morning, 8 till 8 at night, and it had an Eon on top of each one, and just surrounded it. And I mean, I could see myself. It was getting better. Not as red, not as deep.
Did you take any pictures?
I will today, because it even looks better. It'll be even a better testimonial. And they have pictures in the file all through. So I could always they always snap cell phone pictures. But I have a picture of the day I went into the ER 6 years ago when it was cellulitis and staph, and they admitted me for 7 days with IVs around the clock.
Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
Surgery.
What a story. Wow.
Yep. So I'm pretty excited.
Congratulations. Yay. Thanks for sharing. Who is next? Who would like to grace us with your presence, your story, your question?
I'll go. I have another story about X39 and Eon. I got a call from a friend yesterday who had gone to Colorado for ankle surgery. She from a very older injury, and it seemed like the surgery was quite complicated. And she started with the X39 and the Eon about a week before the surgery. And then she went for the surgery. I had to stay 2 days in the hospital. And then I think she's been home just 2 days. So she called me and said that the pain was reducing very fast. And she was supposed to be on 2 pain pills every number of hours. And she, in the morning yesterday, she had only taken 1, and she hadn't taken any the whole rest of the day. And she was pretty excited. She'll have to be off of her feet for 4 weeks, and it's pretty serious surgery, but she was thrilled.
Thank you, Emily. Yay, that's awesome. I don't know about you guys, but when I hear stories on these testimonial calls, I think of people like, oh, I want to share this with Dr. So-and-so or this neighbor or this friend. And it's kind of hard, especially, to keep all those people in your head. And especially for me hosting, But I just want to suggest to all of you that if you think of someone, write their name down and maybe just, indicate the date, today's date, and then you can send them this video. So, okay. Who is next? Who would like to share a testimonial or a question? Oh, I see a hand. Yes, Jen. Oh, Jen, you have to unmute yourself.
Oh,
There you go.
I know. Thank you. So I'm going to confess something. I was really stressed out last week. I mean, and I didn't know that I was. I think it was operating in the background, and which is possible. And Friday, it just all came to a head. I was completely stressed out and called Valerie, and I was just in tears. And she said, put an on behind your right ear. And it really did calm me down. It was so nice. And then I slept all night last night. I'm so thrilled. So I'm celebrating a little win that I just wanted to share with you, because we get stressed out sometimes.
It's a great little win. It's a big win, Jen.
Well, it is for me, because stress sucks.
Yes, it does.
It does. And I do have a question while I'm unmuted. I wondered if anybody had any suggestions for snoring. And forgive me if snoring is a disease state. If
No.
it is, let's change the wording. But if anybody has any suggestions, I have someone who is struggling with that. And she has a firm belief in these patches, and I wanted to be able to advise her of some things, and I don't know.
All right, thanks for your question. I'm going to open it up and see if anybody has any ideas. So let's just, if anyone wants to speak, just unmute yourself. If you've had experience or personal experience, or you've heard of anyone else using.
Yeah, the silent night on your right temple is what has been told on the doctor calls. So, and I have tried it, and I hear that Tim is not waking up anymore in the night. So I'd say, yeah.
So either the patches are working for my sleep or for her snoring. Or maybe both. I don't really know.
Yeah, either Tim is sleeping so deeply he doesn't hear anything, or.
Well, thank you for that. Silent night on the right temple. Thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't read the name. Rovig has a hand up. I'm sorry, can unmute yourself and say your name, please.
Hi, Michelle. It's Ravel. Good morning.
Oh, Ravel. It says Roeveig.
Yeah,
It doesn't say Ravel.
on the road. So just wanted to share a couple of testimonials quickly. There's one from a 29-year-old turning 30. Very exciting. She was not sleeping well, and nor was her daughter, with some skin issues. And she wrote, so far my energy has been way better balanced, and my daughter has been sleeping better, and her skin has been making progress in healing. That's very exciting. And then last night, and I wanted to share this with Robin and Zena and Judy, I'll just read it here. I had passed on a testimonial about someone with heart issues, and she said, I really appreciate you passing this along. It truly hit home for me, as I have had the exact same issue when attempting to sleep on my left side. My heart would go irregular within minutes. And then she wrote, the last 2 weeks, I've noticed a positive change in my heart. It beats strong, steady, quiet, and only a minor sporadic irregular beat. That's a huge difference for me. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure if it's the 2.5 years of TCM or X39 or both. However, I'm so grateful. It feels like my old strong heart is on its way back. Look out, world. So very nice.
And Ravel, share again the patches with the first story too.
The patches with the first story for herself was X39. She's just turning 30.
Uh-huh.
And for her daughter, glutathione. Her daughter is 2 years old.
Wow.
And the second testimonial was X39.
X39, helping that heart. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Ravel. That's wonderful. And we have a hand up. I think Victoria, you can unmute yourself.
Actually, it's my better half. He's going to slide in the chair because he's got a fantastic story.
All right, better half, jump on there. Is that Jim?
Whatever his fantastic story is, I'm not sure, but I'm sure it's fantastic.
Hey, everybody.
Good morning.
I just wanted to, I'm sure a lot of you have been on Vibrant Living lately and saw my pictures in regards to my varicose veins.
Is this coming from the car or my phone? This noise. Ouch.
I don't know where the noise is
I'm
coming from.
taking her to her car,
Hold on.
Jim.
I'm going to mute somebody.
See you in a minute.
There, that should cover it. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Okay. Anyway, I'm sure some of you have seen my my testimony, or my wife's testimony on my behalf, and the pictures that I put on that was put on Vibrant Living in regards to my varicose veins around my ankles. In addition to the varicose veins becoming, I would say 75% less visible. If you notice the size difference in my calf, that was all the inflammation that was in my body. That was not weight loss from a diet or anything like that. That was all from inflammation in my body. And it's, to me, that's quite a remarkable thing. That's the X39. Now I do use other patches occasionally, glutathione, carnosine, Eon, and stuff like that. But yeah, ever since I've been on X39, I don't even know if I can remember all the things that have gone on. I've had scars from carpal tunnel syndrome on both of my hands since I was 21 years old. They were hard to the touch. They were tender if I pushed on them. And within 2 months, my scars had faded somewhat, and they were more soft and supple, and the tenderness was gone underneath them. They are now, I don't know if you can see or not, but you can't hardly even see a scar on my hand. My scar is right in here in this lifeline. And it used to be where if I had my hand open and somebody happened to be looking down and saw the scar on my hand, they'd say, "Whoa, what happened there?" But now you can't even tell I had surgery. Another thing, I was only able to move my neck about that far in either direction. Now I can go full range. I can do the squats now. I got bone on bone left knee, and I used to have to hang on to something in order to get down on my knees. The stories just go on and on for me. And I just loved listening to other people's stories as well, and hearing their remarkable recoveries from things. I've currently taken myself off all immune suppressing drugs for a condition that I had. And each day is showing signs of getting better and better and better for a condition that I've had for many years that is supposedly incurable. But at any rate, that's my story. I'm sticking to it.
I think you need to write a small book.
That's so awesome.
That is awesome. We're all celebrating with you. Oh my goodness.
Thank you.
Congratulations. Thank you so much for sharing, Jim. Keep it up. Keep it up. All right. I think we have, we're at 9:20, but we do have John and Kay. I don't know. Is it okay, Gregory, if we go a few more minutes?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do John and Kay, and then we'll stop the.
Why don't we do Kay first? Because then John, after your testimonial, you can talk about tonight.
Okay, so Kay, you go first, my dear.
Actually, I had a question since this is a chat format. I hope this is okay.
Of course.
How do we find Vibrant Living? I keep hearing about it. I don't have any clue what it is.
That's our Facebook. That's a good, huge question. I seem to remember, Kay, that on one of our calls, you said you're not big on Facebook. So
but I guess I'm going to have to get, so I'm sure there's other people listening who don't know how to access this either. That's why I asked it.
So you'll be invited, I think, maybe from your sponsor. And Vibrant Living is the page where we invite people who are not doing the business, and we do not mention product name or the name of our business. It's a wonderful tool to share without any pressure or there's no mention of network marketing. There's no mention of the actual names of products. We say things like, I'm using a light therapy patch and it has helped this. And there's testimonials, and it's Vibrant Living, it's life. We share stories, inspirational stories, recipes. So it's not just LifeWave. Like Live Younger our Live Younger Facebook page is all LifeWave. This is open to people who don't know anything about LifeWave, but then they get curious and then they'll ask you, well, what is this light therapy patch you're using? And so it's a non-threatening way to bring people into LifeWave. There's a lot more to say about that, but we can share later. All right, John, go ahead.
One more thing on that. Robin just reminded me, we do have a URL, Kay. It's vibrantlivingfb.com, and you don't need to be invited to join.
Okay, good.
So Vibrant Living, but then you can start inviting people and they'll be tagged to you. And there's an introductory video when you go there that'll explain a lot of this to you.
Thank you, Gregory. For the clarification. Yes, John, please.
All right. So I've been MIA for 2 weeks because a friend of mine got in deep trouble and needed help getting his house painted so he could move in. And so for 2 weeks, I've been painting the whole inside of his house, 2 coating, on my knees, doing baseboard. I'm 68 years old. I'll be 69 in May. And of course, I had Eon on. I wore X39. I wore Carnison. I wore Energy. And at night, I wore Icewave. And I should have been, when you work, I work from 7:30 in the morning till 7:30 at night a lot of times. And so I should have been a mess, and I wasn't. I had more energy, more focus, and we got it done. And so, the good thing is all the carpenters now, one of them is now a customer. My buddy and his wife were stressed, obviously, because of being overwhelmed. They're wearing Eon, and it's had a major difference. And her daughter has some stress from high school, I guess. That's better, and her menstrual cramps are better. So, even though I've been MIA, I didn't ever quit working. And so,
that goes without saying for you, John. We know that.
So anyway, it was, for me, it was just remarkable because 2 years ago, I could have never, ever done this kind of work at this age. I would have been hobbling. So anyway, I'm grateful for every single patch. I mean, of course, people would come in and ask me what the hell they were, and I'd have to tell them, obviously. Anyway, and then tonight, Gregory wants me. So tonight, I'm going to be the guest speaker tonight, and we are going to be covering, once again, how I use and the benefit of using social media, using Messenger, using birthdays, and and how you incorporate that into a heart-to-heart kind of business plan. So it's a combination of old school, new school technology, and I'll share with you in 15, 20 minutes. We'll have a lot of information, and if you want to apply it, it works. It's worked for me, and it just is a matter of, you know, redesigning your daily mode of operation. Which
John, I'm
I
excited.
saw Dr. Tom on here, and him and I are going to be the gold standard of daily mode of operation.
Thanks, John. That sounds like it's going to be wonderful, especially for those of us who are maybe a little more reluctant or not as comfortable with social media. John, you just knock the ball out of the park every time with that. I love hearing your ideas. So looking forward to hearing that tonight. We love learning from you. So anything else, Robin and Gregory, or?
Yeah, I've got a couple announcements. Thanks, Michelle, and thanks everybody. And by the way, this was a juicy call, and I just want to remind everybody, if somebody wasn't on this call, they can go to our Live Younger Facebook group, and it's immediately, well, it takes 10 or 15 minutes for Facebook to process it, but it's available immediately on Facebook, and usually within 24 hours it'll be posted in our YouTube channel, liveyoungeryoutube.com. And with that being said, I don't know how many of you were on with Friday. There's a lot more people on today than there was on Friday. And Friday, Connie Lucas, Ann Moreau, and Kai Jacobson, Saturday morning training.
Saturday.
Days mixed up. You know, Connie Lucas, Ann Moreau, and Kai Jacobson knocked the cover off the ball also, talking about secrets to successful sharing. So I highly recommend that. It's been loaded in the YouTube channel. So required watching for everyone that wants to up your game and, you know, increase your sharing skills. So, and Friday, wow, we had
yes, Friday, John's friend. We loved him, John. He was awesome. Richard Rogers.
Reverend Richard is just, he's like a big teddy bear with just, he opens you wide open.
Beautiful. He did a beautiful, beautiful job. So we got lots of good listening. And so the next thing I want to do is a little bit more somber. I'm sorry to report that our dear friend and community member, Karen O'Neill's husband, Walt, on the 19th of this month, had a stroke. And it was Walt's time to move on. And a couple of days ago, I think on Saturday, Walt crossed the Rainbow Bridge. And so Karen is in transition and mourning and grieving. And I just want to let everybody know, send love and prayers and peace and angels to Karen and family, because Walt has moved on. I know that she's feeling in her heart what a blessing LifeWave was, because he was on the verge of checking out 2 years ago when Robin introduced them to LifeWave, and he just got a second wind, a second lease on life. I mean, you'd never know the transformation he went through, but so he did have 2 more quality years with the family. And, you know, I guess now is his time to move on. So I just want to let everybody know. And big hugs and prayers to the O'Neill family for their great loss. And Robin is saying, if you wanted to send a card, Robin's posted their address in the Facebook group.
Okay. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
Yes. Our love and angels and prayers to Karen and family.
Mm-hmm.
All right. All right, everybody. Well, we are looking forward to seeing you again tonight, if you can make the call tonight. And there's so much good listening, as Gregory said. You know, the Saturday morning training was awesome. Oh my goodness, I had so much fun listening to Connie and Ann and Kai. So those are all available on Facebook and in our Live Younger YouTube. So everybody, oh, Teresa, you're saying something. Did you want to unmute yourself real quick?
Yes, and in Nitty Gritty 101.
Nitty Gritty 101. Yes, thank you, Teresa. All right, everybody. Well, happy Monday, and keep on patching and spreading the love. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye.